Hello and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How you doing there, Mac?
Jesus, Jake, you said that in one go, one breath. Fuck me,
Enjoying
was
my
that
sleep.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
That, yeah.
I'm
I
ready
should
for the
actually,
Price is Right.
yeah, I would love actually. I should do it, even though I keep always deleting them. I should always take out the outtakes and just put them in and compile it. And like one
Is
weekend
that
that
what
we
you were
want
talking about?
that we want to have a weekend off a podcast, so we could just do Jake's fuck ups.
Oh, no.
Anyway, look, before I suppose we get into talking about the race that just happened and the weekend, um, I do want to pass on my best wishes to Sylvain Gintoli.
Oh, that was.
Uh, look, when these things happen, family is the most important thing. Uh, Thoughts, prayers, best wishes, love is all with you. Take care of your young boy. Motorbikes will be here. Stay with family and stay strong, and we're all with you every step of the way. So,
Yeah. There's nothing harder on a person if it doesn't hurt you. Losing a child, if it doesn't hurt you, if it doesn't crush you, there's something wrong with you.
well, yeah, well, look, it's not got to that stage yet. There's just a battle on with the big C. So look, let's keep the sunny side out. Let's send all the good vibes and the prayers to Sylvan, and let's keep it going. But on to today's race. Look, finally, what is it? 1,043 days. The drought is over, and I have to say he did it in very, very Marc Marquez style. You know what I mean? He blitzed them from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like even if you look at it, the only session that he didn't top was warm up. But you could say that he was first back into the box. So you know what I mean? He came out, he didn't even do a full lap, and he came back in.
I'll tell you what, though. One thing was I would point out, though, if anybody wonders why Ducati picked Marquez, did you see the thousands of people that came out of the grandstands?
Yeah,
Ran
but
down the track.
look,
I mean, it was a melee. I mean, that's why they picked him.
But
Really.
you're in Spain though.
Well,
You are in Spain.
That's for sure. Right. But
You are in.
You know.
But no, this is actually Mark's home race, really. Like, I mean, they would class this as his home race. So, look, he did have something extra special, and there was a couple of things. The stars did sort of align for him as well. So, the track was dirty and slippery.
Yeah.
And every night it rained, and it washed all the rubber off. So it was like Marc Marquez country of slippy track. He can get the best out of it. You then add in 4 major left turns, right, where he was pulling 3-4 tenths of a second in those
like a Marc Marquez recipe.
Yeah, sector 2 and sector 4 that's where he was gaining his time. He was actually losing time to people in the others, but he was gaining more than he was losing. And to be fair, he absolutely blitzed them. So they didn't even see what way he went. Now, saying that, I think in today's race, Jorge Martin and Pedro Costa really gifted him the race. Do you know what I mean? They were fucking around with each other rather than using each other to pull up.
Yeah.
And like Jorge going down in trying to pass him into the corkscrew was never going to fucking happen. And Pedro Costa, with somewhat good tires underneath him, was never going to fucking give in. Do you know what I mean? So look, like I think that dropped him. I think Mark was like half a second ahead, and that dropped him to like 2.3 or so. It was crazy, and I was just like, lads, for fuck's sake. Now, saying this, I genuinely do think Pecco and Jorge Martin's mentality changed a lot on Friday. They started to worry about each other and not what Mark was doing. They already knew that Mark had much better pace. I was saying that in Friday's practice, Mark and Pecco's pace was very, very similar. There was maybe a 10 to 2/10 a lap in it. Not much. Do you know what I mean?
It looked like it for the
but
race.
then
He was going off the track all over the place.
Yeah, but when he could string consistent laps together like Mark, he was maybe at times he was under, but Mark's 1 lap pace was just like when he pulled the pin and really went for the quali laps.
Yeah, I thought he was like 8/10 or some ridiculous amount over.
Yeah, that was in qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're like, and like it was fucking amazing. Also, you were seeing, and it was interesting. There was an interview with Frankie Cartucci, and he was just saying, Mark normally on left-hand corners is normally able to bank more than the others, but this time, he was getting a lot more, and it's a lot of his corner entries into the turn 10 and the turn 14 and 15, and the last corner. There where Mark makes the difference. It's not on exit, it's not in the middle of the corner, it's on corner entry. He takes a completely different line to everyone else. And Pecco then was saying that Mark can go an extra 4 to 5 degrees more banking than they can. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of seeing
that. I heard, yeah.
But realistically, what it's saying is Mark is taking more risk. Do you know what I mean? The lads are like, everyone's like, fuck this. I'm not throwing I'm more talking about Pecco and Martin. I'm not throwing my fucking championship up the road.
There was a lot of guys that were just pulled out and said, I'm looking to just hit the checkered flag today. You know that?
Yeah.
Look at Aprilia. I don't think the Aprilia guys, they just went, they gave up almost before they started. You know,
they gave up a qualifying. Yeah. It was kind of weird though. It was good to see Pedro Costa back. Okay, he was gifted today's podium, do you know what I mean? But it was good to see him. He had a good solid weekend, I think. So like, yeah, it's definitely, how would I say, definitely one of those weekends where you're like, everything is not what it seems to be in the way of this. Now, saying this, just looping back to Mark, right? This is either there's a lot of people are like, Mark is going to destroy the world from here on out, which is a possibility. Then there's the other side of the coin that this was just the perfect storm for Mark, which I tend to agree with in the way that it's one of his favorite circuits. It's a left-hand circuit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slippery, dirty circuit that has rained every night. So I think there's a little bit of that. Saying that, as a racer and a rider myself, you get a win, all of a sudden your confidence comes up.
Exactly.
Now, Mark had good confidence in the bike in the Red Bull ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he carried that over. And there was a big question coming into this weekend, going back to the 2024 carcass. Would he be able to do it? And of course, kind of, for me, this wasn't kind of your normal standard race weekend. There was major issues with the circuit. Like yesterday's sprint, I don't know how Alex Marquez missed Pecco. Do you know what I mean? When they were starting, I was just like, fuck. Today, you could see it again. Anyone on away from pole position side.
Yep.
Even Jorge Martin, who was maybe 1.5 meters away from Mark, he spun like a motherfucker as well. Do you know what I mean?
It's surprising. Why didn't they pick that up after the sprint race and go, hey, make sure that, we're getting real dirty on this side. Hit that a little harder.
But they
didn't.
They said it to him on Friday. And they did fuck all on Friday.
Of course. Yeah.
And they said it to him again. Now, it was cleaner today, but you could still see it was still dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, something needs to be, I suppose, looked at in this. So I think KTM had a pretty good thing, but and Pedro and Binder were supposed to run the soft tire today, but Michelin put the kibosh on using the soft tire because they were afraid that it wouldn't last and people would have tire failures because of it. So that kind of fucked their race strategy realistically, because they were going to go use softer tires all the way through. So it was a little bit of an uphill battle. Enea Bastianini and Franco Morbidelli, we didn't really see too much of them, but what we did see with Franco, when Pecco was behind Franco, we did see something like, if you go a slightly bit offline there, how fast that front tucks. Do you know what I mean? Like Franco in that little corner lost the front 3 times. Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, you're not even half a foot off the line. Do you know what I mean? You lose the front and then you're gone. Do you know what I mean? Where normally
he slipped up on that corner one time. If you went around, he got a little squirrely. I was going to text you. He's getting a little squirrely on that.
Well, he was probably getting fucking bored, because there was no one around him to
judge. Yeah,
judge exactly. Yeah, but like, you know, you don't go through what Mark has gone through and then just be like, oh, and you're winning the race and you're about to fucking win your first race in 3 years, and not get a little bit distracted because there's no one fucking around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And your mind starts to wander and all of this shit. And
you're at the last race of a last lap of a race, or even a track day, and it's before the session's ending, or a little track day races, and you hear every little nut and bolt in the engine. You never notice that? You're right there. What's that? You know, and it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was kind of for me. Look, it was just. It was great. It's genuinely great to see him doing. But like the circuit was like, it's something that you need to have that Dorna need to have a look at. Is like that you cannot go into a circuit. Okay, green and rain, fine, but like you could see it in the rain this morning, and if you were watching, Pecco did like 4 or 5 laps, and he went out then to do the practice start. But the Monster Energy logo on the back of the Ducati, you could barely see that with the dirt. So that's just showing you the dirt that's on the track. It kind of reminded me of Mandalika. Do you remember?
I was thinking the exact same. Mandalika kept popping into my head.
Yeah, so it was just, and it was kind of like, the only
thing we didn't have was the asphalt popping up.
Yeah, and it was just, for me, it was just one of those things. It was like,
I've been saying for years that, you know, how much, they're not that much for the cleaning trucks and the whole skin thing.
Well, it's not
a $4 billion company or $11 billion company. Can we spry for a couple more cleaning trucks?
But you see, it's owned by the circuit. You see, it's not owned by Dorna.
Well, Dorna can chip in and buy a couple and put them on the fly. You know, put them on the trucks. Yeah. I mean, I think it would make a better package for the racing and racers and everyone involved.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree with you, but what I'm just saying is that it's just a bit difficult in the way of getting it sorted out that way. Do you know what I mean? You know, look, at the end of the day, you know, a circuit, in my view, in a safety point of view, right, a circuit is homologated and whatever, right, but you need to be looking at like, is that surface fucking safe enough or at the standard of a racing, you know? And it's like, anyway, look, so it was the same for everyone. Everyone on the inside of the grid struggled to get off, you know what I mean? And it could have caused an accident. Right. The rest of the circuit, you know, it is sandy, but the wind will blow onto it and whatnot.
Yeah, we've had situations before though. We've had it the Saudi Arabia track. Let's face, we've had it at Assen. We've had it. I can name 4 or 5 where they really needed some extra trucks out there, some extra cleaning. You know.
Yeah, but
hell or high water, they should get it done. That's my point.
Yeah, it should be done. But then look, saying that we would be fairly far behind what you do in the States in NASCAR and fucking all of these with the jet dryers and all of these when it fucking rains, you know.
Yeah,
To
why
try
not
to
have a
try.
jet dryer? That was another way I thought.
Yeah, but look,
He needs a jet dryer. It's a motorcycle. Last time I heard, cars can go on. They can go around wet tracks better than a motorcycle. So who needs it more?
oh, I know that, yeah. But look at the end of the day, um, hopefully it's a rare event that we see a track as dirty as that, and you could see it. You know it's bad when you can see it on the camera. You can see dirt of the track. Um, what else? I thought Fabio Di Gianantonio, he did a very good race as well. He beat Marco Bezzecchi, and if you can remember, Digi is on his way back from the shoulder surgery from dislocating his shoulder, if you remember. So I thought it was like a good race, good enough race from him. Jack and Alex Rins won the Japanese Cup.
Now it's wow. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and
I'm asking Yamaha personally, for me to Yamaha, will you please throw the dice and give Quartararo some power? Yes, it might blow the engine, okay? But give it the power. They can make the power to even him out. He looked so bad trying to run against
Pecco.
Did you see when he was running against
Pecco yesterday? Was
just Pecco, and he just walked away from it. Looked like he was tied to a post. Okay, Quartararo. It was like oof, gone. You know.
Yeah.
That's too much of a talent to sit there. We don't, Yamaha. We really don't care if it blows up. We understand. All right.
Yeah, and Crash and all of those. Please feel free to use our podcast for our stories. Isn't that right, Jake? Anyway, yeah, it was kind of embarrassing when you were watching Pecco drift away from. I won't even say walk away, like he was just
tied to a post. Yep.
Yeah. Taki Nakagami won the Honda Cup, which is weird again, seeing as he's now being demoted to a test rider.
We had a Japanese Cup and a Honda Cup. They've gotten so bad they had their own cup. The only way
I've decided to give them their own cup. Yeah, I think it makes sense.
They're their own cup now. Can't win anything. We'll give them our own cup.
Yeah. I think it's only fair. Do you know what I mean? We also,
special Olympics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Alex from Calix got fired as well from Honda.
How stupid is that?
Well, he came in. He hasn't made any fucking difference to the chassis. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And whose fault's that?
Not Honda's anyway.
Never yes, them then. No, yeah.
Not Honda's. Yeah, So I suppose we better talk about the Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia incident.
It was a racing incident, Mike.
I think, yeah, I can't. First and foremost, right? Thanks be the fuck they both walked away, right? Yes. Because it was one of those crashes that you look at and you're instantly like, ooh, and anyway. So the way when I first looked at it, I thought Alex was wrong, and I was like, "You've just run wide, and you're trying to make the apex of the next corner. You're offline."
I didn't think he saw. I don't think he saw. I don't think he saw.
No. But when I was looking at it first, I was like, you're rushing. You're offline, and you're rushing to the apex, right? Which anyone that is trying to recover from making a mistake does, right? When you look at it, and then when I looked at it the second time, I was like, okay, but maybe Pecco could have given him a little bit more room. And then I saw it a third time, and I saw it from overhead, and I was like, okay, so Alex was offline, as in on the inside line, because you could definitely tell by the different colors of the tarmac. Pecco was on the dark black section, which was
Yep.
obviously the racing line. So Alex was going straight to the corner and Pecco was going straight to the corner. When I was looking at it then from another direction, I was like, Alex doesn't see him. Alex's head is down by his petrol tank.
Yeah.
Right. Pecco is coming around the front of him. Pecco knows that Alex is there, but Alex doesn't know that Pecco is there.
Yeah.
But neither of them can check up at this stage, because if one of them check up, they're going straight down.
Yep.
So for me, then I was kind of like, this is just two fellas going for the same spot at tarmac and meeting in the middle, and none of them are the actual wiser that one can't pull up or the other can't pull up.
Yeah, because neither one of them got off that line. The dirt was there. They're going to go on straight down on their ass.
You can't check up. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But for me, when I look at it, I think, you know, one of the main things is that they're both fine. You know,
but can Pecco make up the difference at this point? How many races have we got left?
Oh, there's loads fucking left. And he's only 23 behind.
Yeah, I know, but Martin seems to be all over him. And I swear, Pecco is going to. I swear, somewhere along the line, he went back and said, "Nobody ever call me Perfect Pecco again." With the cheeks.
Yeah.
Talk me like that again.
Yeah, no, like he didn't have the best day yesterday. Now, he hasn't come out and publicly said it, but apparently there was a front tire issue. He got a Duff front tire again, and that was his second front tire in the weekend. And when you could see him when he was going into the garage, he turned and he looked at the Michelin tire man and he said, "That's two."
Whoa, who had a Duff front tire? The Pecco again?
Pecco had it yesterday in yesterday's sprint, and he had one in practice on Friday as well. And he turned.
Define Duff, because we're English over here.
I am Irish.
I know, but
you're American.
You got that screwed up English. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so a Duff front tire basically means a faulty front tire, or
I didn't know if it was faulty by it was over pressured or under pressured or
no, a bad tire, a bad front tire. Apparently that's defective.
A stamping, yeah.
No, a defective front tire. So it didn't do what it was supposed to do, and it does happen. You know that these things, nothing will ever be perfect, right? On some days. But anyway, I think for me, when I said this in the video after, I think the biggest winner out of today is not Marc Marquez. It's Jorge Martin.
Huh?
It's not the biggest winner out today is not Marc Marquez. It's Jorge Martin.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
you know, because Marc has won a race, but he's not a danger or a threat for the title. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Martin has got a 25-point lead now.
And the announcers were like, "Man, I've never seen him so happy to be second." I'm thinking, no shit. Look at the situation. No wonder he's happy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think they made their piece early on Friday saying, we know we're probably not going to catch Marc. So let's worry about Pecco, or let's worry about Martin. Do you know what I mean? That was the way like they're in the championship battle that Marc's not involved in yet. If Marc does 3 races like this, then yes, he could be in it. And
no, I wouldn't bet the mortgage that Marc Marquez is going to be a title threat right now.
No, I wouldn't. It's while it's highly unlikely, there's still the points available, and if he does do blistering weekends like this, but
I think he'll improve. I do think he'll improve.
I think he'll be fighting with them at Misano, and I genuinely do. And I think Pecco is going to go through a rough few days, like when he fucking wakes up tomorrow morning and every part of his body is achy painy.
Yes.
You know, and anyone that's fallen off a motorbike and not really broken bones or really hurt themselves, but has a couple of lacerations or contusions or whatever.
Yes.
Will know that
it hurts a lot more. It's much more damaging than a break.
But he will be, like, realistically, he's back on track Friday in his backyard, where Jorge Martin Jorge Martin did win the double last year, but if we remember last year, Pecco crashed. It was just before Catalonia, and Pecco was run over, if you remember at that time. So so I take that with a pinch of salt, just to correct Neil Hodgson's Susie Perry and Michael Laverty when they were all shocked. Like, did he really beat Pecco in Pecco's backyard last year? Yes, he did. That's why. Pecco could barely fucking walk, lads. And anyway, I have to be nice to Susie Perry. She's a Wolves fan. Anyway, yeah, I thought the race, like, I genuinely thought the race it wasn't boring.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It was boring for Mark. It was boring for Marc Marquez.
No, oh no, it wasn't boring for Marc Marquez. He was like, at first, he had to have a bundle of nerves, especially from like the 10th lap on. You know, he must have been like counting every.
And that's why I say it was boring. You know, because he was not challenged, had nothing on. Jake, you're gone.
We're back, kind of, sort of. You got me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Mark was counting down every second.
No,
going down.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. He was bored because he looked at it. I think with 10 or 12 laps to go. He said, and was like, oh. And then his mind started to wander. He said, and he lost concentration and all of that good stuff.
There we go. We're back, kind of, sort of. There we go.
Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, so next weekend we have Misano.
One of my favorites.
And we're actually going to Misano twice, if you remember.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So next weekend, it's going to be a pretty difficult one, you know.
I kind of like the double races because you get the first race where everybody's sorting stuff out, okay? Then you get that second race where everybody comes and everybody has this thing sorted out, and it's just mano a mano type, you know, racing.
Yeah. I will be honest though, I'm not a fan of the back-to-back races.
Yeah.
You know, and what I mean back-to-back is like, you know, we have a race this weekend and we have a race next weekend.
Yeah.
You know, can't they work the championship that we just have a race every 2 weekends or whatever?
Oh, you mean I'm thinking of venues. I like when they have the same venue back-to-back. Like.
Yeah, I don't particularly
and then you have Misano, and then next weekend you have Misano again.
Yeah. But then look, I suppose I don't know. It depends, you know. We had it during COVID and all of that, so
I think it makes for good races because everybody's at their best. You know, like I said, everything's sorted out. Everybody's at their quickest.
Except if you're on a Honda or Yamaha.
Oh, they hate me like you're getting, pal.
Oh, man. I don't want to open my fucking inbox.
You know what they did 30 years ago?
Yeah. Honda have a great pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's been fucking chummed the last few years. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't know they've gone into dog food. Yeah, look, I don't know. I wouldn't be necessarily always a fan.
Yeah, it's like looking down the bar and seeing some old biddy that's all dialed up, right? And you go, she was really hot 30 years ago. Do you really give a shit? You know?
Yeah.
No, she's just an ugly old biddy that's wore down.
Yeah, but look, I don't know, man. Not really. Look, Honda will be back at some point. The Yamaha will be back at some point.
Yeah.
Will there be other manufacturers? Maybe.
Yeah. When they bring the bike down, that like Briggs and Stratton can be competitive.
Well, talking to Briggs and Stratton, apparently BMW have said that MotoGP is a priority now.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, apparently that is the thing. And you know, I was thinking then the other day, I was like,
but they are spouting some big words. I'll give you that.
I reckon we could see them in 2027. All right, but they'll need to make their mind up quick.
Yes.
And I think I think with Dorna closing off the two seats is trying to get them to make the decision, or helping them aid getting them to make the decision in the next couple of days or weeks or whatnot. But they have come out and said that it is a top priority to them, and I think this is mainly as well to keep, and this I think as well is why maybe Toprak decided not to jump ship. I do reckon that Toprak had something.
Yeah.
Mightn't have been the fastest thing. But I do reckon, because they wouldn't have been so stupid to turn around to BMW and say we're actually leaving the end of this year, and I've told them, or they told BMW that, and then they backtracked. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I genuinely reckon that BMW have had something, or have said something, and there is maybe a thing on it. But yeah, I just think, I can't wait for. I love Misano as a circuit. It's definitely one of my favorites. I was telling you about Yamaha have tested there, and Rins had the eye level camera, and it was fucking fantastic. You could see his lines. I know it wasn't for you what you mentioned, but again, it was. I suppose when we look at the riders for the weekend, kind of the ones that I was a little bit how would I say, like Aprilia for me when I looked at it this weekend in Aragon, I genuinely just don't know what the fuck is going on with them. Do you know what I mean? Maverick has checked out. I can fucking tell you that.
Yep.
Aleix, I thought he had checked out, and then he had the good run. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, would that not keep you up? But I don't know. He bounced down the road yesterday in the sprint, and I think that was enough. He was like, that's enough for my weekend now. Did you know what I mean? Next, Miguel Oliveira did have a good showing. Crashed out okay on the opening lap, but again just showed you like he was slightly offline, and boom. Raul Fernandez again didn't do too much this weekend, which I thought he would. On Friday. Looking at the Aprilias, I was like, this is interesting to see where they'll go. Marini, I don't know why Marini started from the pit lane. Did he have trouble with the bike? I didn't see anything at the start of the race.
But he was way back.
Yeah, but he started from pit lane.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So, again, I don't know. But, like, for me, Maverick Vinales this weekend, it was just turning into a moan fest. Like, you know, saw some of his interviews after, and I was just like, I know he's checked out. I know you decided to go to another manufacturer. But if I was that manufacturer now, I'd be like, what the actual fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, just because you're not with us does not, or sorry, not because you're not with us next year, because you're not with us next year doesn't mean you can ride like this. And
yeah, and as the manufacturer you're going to, that doesn't bode well.
Exactly, and that was my thought. It was like, you know, he's gone so far now.
Do you want to see him jerking off at the company they're at now? You know what I mean?
But could you
you don't want to hear that they're jerking off on the 2 weeks notice and making problems. You want to hear that they're still trudging on. You know?
Exactly. I suppose my point here is that where I'm looking at it is, you don't fuck around with KTM, and you don't. You just fucking don't. Like they will. They will kick
you. Don't mess around with KTM.
Well, they'll kick you in the balls hard enough that you'll have 3 Adam's apples when you first open your mouth. Like, you won't even get a fucking warning. It will just be like, I'm going to kick you in the balls so hard. And your balls will end up in your throat. And it's like, don't fucking talk about the company in a bad light again. Do you know what I mean? But I see him over there whinging about the Aprilia, and that's what it is. It's whinging, right? He ran away, in my view, from a battle with Jorge Martin.
Yep.
And he's run away from a company that will absolutely adore him.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no excuse.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. Not many people say it, but I think you're right on it. I think you're on the money on that.
And look, I don't know, like it's kind of something funny, right?
I don't think he wants to be. You're right. I don't think he wants to be compared with Martin. I think he'll show he has that one, at least a wonder boy. You know, you don't know if he could pull one out of the hat. And I think if he gets next to Martin, it's going to look like even if he pulls one out of the hat, he's still in the back. You know, he's still lacking. Okay,
he's still lacking. Yeah.
It's going to show. It's going to expose him for what speed he has.
I think so. Yeah, and I genuinely think that that's exactly what is going to happen. Is that, you know, I think he thought that I'm going to call him. He was the apprentice to El Capitan.
Mm-hmm.
And when El Capitan retired, that he would become the natural succession to that.
Yeah.
And then they went and they got Jorge Martin. And he's now realized that he would have to fight to be the captain of the ship. And a rider in his own mentality will know someone is faster than them, but you can never admit it.
Right. But I think on a good day, Espargaro is just as fast as Batman, whatever the hell you know what I mean?
Batmav,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, but Martin would be consistently faster than Batmav every day.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's where the problem for him is that Martin is going to be fast all the time, where he has to be, or he's fast some of the time, you know. And that is a problem for Maverick, because Maverick knows I'm now under the most pressure. So I don't know. I think it's I think it's very weird that why he's run away. I get it that you can never admit it, and you know it, but then when I look at KTM, for example, you know, he's never going to be the golden boy at KTM either.
Right.
You know, so
right.
Like Pedro is the golden boy and Brad is the golden boy. Himself and Enya are the two pretenders.
Right.
Or the bastard children, let's just call it that way, right?
And that's why it makes me think that you're right, that he's looking. He don't want to be. He doesn't want to be compared with Martin.
Yeah, I think he reckons. Now, I don't think he would have had a full understanding of who was signing for KTM or Tech 3 KTM or whatever you want to fucking call it. Because at that time, yeah, I think he kind of backed down very quickly from something he probably shouldn't have. I think having someone like Jorge Martin would have probably lifted him.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at someone like his data, and you're like going, boom, there you go. Do you know what I mean? I just find it very weird that he ran away from it and went to a company like KTM, who are fucking lethal on their riders. Do you know what I mean?
See, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with the money they're making. So people say, "Oh, they're lethal, they're rough, they're too mean." Not me. I think you're getting a couple $1 million a shot. Yeah, you're.
Yeah.
With the heat.
Yeah, well, look, on the mature riders, yeah, 100%, right. But on rookie riders coming in. They're getting paid, they're not getting paid millions. Do you know what I mean?
Don't they make about $1 million even if they come in as a
I think it's 500,000-600,000. That's it.
Just a mere pittance. But
well, it is like when you look at it, right? Because a lot of them are independent contractors, and then they have to pay for all their flights and hotels and all this. And you will be very quickly racking up $100,000 of a hotel bill and flights.
You can, yeah, over a year, yeah. I've seen it.
So while you're saying that, and then if you're living in fucking Ireland, for example, you lose 42% of that 500,000. Right, all of a sudden,
that's an inefficient system, though. There must be a reason I'm not knowing about, but to have them as independent contractors in that situation,
because you see, otherwise, like if you're an employee, you'll have all fucking direct employees' rights and fucking all of this shit. Whereas if you're a contractor, you can fuck them out the door and that's it. And you probably don't have to fucking pay them because you just tie it up in litigation, and it costs them. To get their 500,000, it's probably going to cost them 450,000 in legal fees.
Yeah, you're right.
So it makes fucking complete sense to me. So yeah, it was. I was just trying to check up the news there to see was there any penalties or anything after the race. I do know a few riders. I think Raul Fernandez and Di Gianantonio were under review for the. For tire pressures, which I think is the most stupid fucking rule.
I saw that. How many people? It was like there was like 3 or 4 guys for the. Come on. Whatever. Just get that straightened out. The tire manufacturers want the best for the rider. Nobody wants anybody crashing. They're not going to scheme. Before they got quote unquote caught, you didn't have anybody that I know of running tire pressures were significant enough to make any big inroads on lap times, right? So they were just trying to make it so the thing wouldn't blow up, for safety.
I just think it's just excuse me, way too overcomplicated.
Yes,
I think, and that's genuinely what I think, and I don't know why they just don't do the simple basic system they have in Moto 2.
Yeah.
That someone runs out and checks the tire pressure before the start of a race,
Yep.
And your tires might be changed or done, or your tire might be done. You never know, and it keeps doing that, and you can decide you can either cheat or you're going to fucking do it legit, and but this fucking monitoring.
If you do it where it's going to, you know what? If you keep cheating and you keep doing it, somewhere along the line, somebody's going to finger you. You know that. Human nature. If I'm cheating, if I'm going to put the tire pressure so low that it makes a difference, whatever, somewhere along the line, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Somebody's going to finger you out.
Yeah.
So it's you're getting, decreased returns on whatever you're doing. Did you get my drift on that?
I did.
So, yeah, it's going to get rid of it. Nobody wants it.
Yeah. Also, actually, I forgot to text you this during the week. Yamaha have selected the new Lynn Jarvis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now he works within Yamaha, so he's not coming in from the outside. So some fella, what's his name, Paolo Babasio or something like that.
Okay.
He's been involved in Yamaha, so he's going to be handling that changeover. Speaking actually of changeovers,
can you tell everybody about Alex getting fired?
Who? Alex from Calix.
Alex from Calix?
Alex from Calix was fired, yeah.
Gee, like I said, what an idiot freaking move that is.
Yeah, but look, Honda have made some changes as well this week. Obviously, that Shirin has come in for next season in LCR. So Nakagami is definitely out, and my understanding is Nakagami will move to the test rider role for next season. Which
Honda, by the way, Look, folks, we were thinking about the Mac and I and a couple of our friends were thinking about going to COTA next year. So we're giving Honda 4 warnings so they can come and get us. You know what I mean? We'll be like Trump at the race going ching.
Fucking chains and sprockets flying at us.
You see a Honda executive. We get the boxes.
Yeah.
You say we got.
Yeah, I actually remember, and I think it was Rain Man, if I used to comment here. I haven't heard from him in ages, actually, but he met Pecco at in COTA at a barbecue place, and your man he stood for pictures with him. I'm not sure if he were. Yeah, that was class. So yeah, we're going to try and pick COTA actually, and they have released the test days actually for next season. Which is always good. And I always advise people, if you can ever get to a test session, do. They're harder to get to because a lot of these circuits don't always have public transport running to them except on race weekends, So when a test does happen, then obviously there's no public transport. But if you do get to them, the riders are far more relaxed because there's not as much hustle and bustle and meet and greets for sponsors and all of that, you know what I mean? So they're kind of walking around the paddock, having over and back for their lunch or whatnot. So if you're autograph hunting,
I think we'll be able to rent Harleys when we get down there.
Oh yeah, I want a wheelie Harley.
Okay. Well, Mac's going to see about a quarter of the race before he crashes, and then he'll be reporting from the hospital room.
Yeah, actually, I said it to a buddy of mine, and he's like, I was like, I was thinking about going to Texas or Dakota and after the thing, and he's like, yeah, those fellas then will just be like taking pictures of here's me clung to the fence at the side of the thing, shouting abuse of fucking Yamaha, so that they'd be like, "Will you fix the fucking bike?" Yeah, that's probably what happened. Yeah, and escorted out of there then or something. I don't know. Yeah. Twist the throttle, you'd be grand. No, I think. Yeah, I think that should be a good weekend. A bit of crack anyway. Other than that, I think next weekend's Misano. It's going to be a tricky one to pick. Well, yeah, but technically, I'll be an immigrant that day.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. I'll be like, yeah. I just start talking Irish and I get fucked out. Yeah. So, look. No, I think it'd be good crack over in COTA. And if there's any American people that want to come down, if any Honda people want to send the snipers, or Yamaha, I should actually try and see if I can get some press accreditation for that race. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Hey, Dorna, hook me up.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Dorna would actually probably be another one with snipers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. God, yes. Jesus.
We'll have to buy tickets under fake names. Anyway, yeah. No, I think it'll be good this weekend. It's coming. It's got
under lights going. How did you know what we were thinking? Because you're crooks. They always think the same way.
Yeah. Well, look, Dorna is changing, and I saw some comment there about how Liberty Media have been changing, and they haven't, right? Always about Shirin being put onto the LCR Honda, right? And they're like, oh, this is from Liberty Media because Asia is an emerging market. Now,
so what?
Firstly, it's not. Right? They were trying to get Agura onto that bike for the past 2 years, right? And Agura has kept saying no, right? So Agura has now gone to Trackhouse. So realistically, if they were trying to get Agura onto that bike for the past 2 years, that means Honda had already had enough of Taka Nakagami. Taka Nakagami for the past 6 months has been bitching about the Honda, right? So they're like, you're
In line.
fucking done, right? So they had to put someone on it, right? And we will all here remember, go back 4 or 5 years ago, no one would go in an Aprilia. Everyone was like, yeah, thanks, no thanks. You know what I mean? So Honda is now the new Aprilia, right? Where people were like, no. Cheyenne didn't have a Moto2 ride, but it's also sponsored by the Asian Talent Cup, or was so they came through the Asian Talent Cup and funded from that series, but also funded by what sponsor? Indomitsu. And what's the sponsor on the side of the Honda? Indomitsu. So it's nothing to do with Dorna. It is to do with the Asian Talent Cup, sponsored by Honda, the sponsor of that Indomitsu, and there you have it. So it's either a Japanese or an Asian.
Complain about the Honda, they have to get a deaf mute, Mac. The guys are going.
Yeah, but look. Anyway, on that bombshell, I suppose we'll pick our race winners for next weekend. Oh, actually, I got one right this weekend, didn't I?
What'd you say? I had him second. I got close. I got
no. For all those fuckers that say that I hate Marc Marquez and all of this shit, I did pick him to win this weekend, and I was right.
Yes, he did. That's right.
Now, off screen, guess what fingers I'm holding up to all those fuckers that are saying.
Yeah, I said he was going to be second in the main race, and I thought he was going to. Did I say he was going to win in the sprint?
No, I said he would win the sprint, and I thought Pecco would win the main race.
Okay. I thought he'd win or he was going to be second in the main race.
Yeah. Anyway, look.
Anyhow, we're close. You got it right on the money in the one.
I got the sprint and the money. Anyway, this weekend or next weekend, who do you think is going to win?
Whoa, Martin.
Both?
I'm going to put him for both, and then both Bagnaia second, and I'm going to have both Marquez third.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a Pecco. I'm gonna Martin sprint. I'm gonna go Pecco main race.
No repeat for. I definitely think that Marquez will be faster in every race now, though. I think he's be dueling for a win every race now. I don't think there's any more. He's going to be shooting for podiums every single race now. I think because that's going to give him that confidence, and it's going to give the team the confidence. It'll make that team put in more out. Yada yada yada. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's definitely going to help his confidence. I definitely think he's going to be there or thereabouts, and he's going to be fighting with them. Does this mean that if he gets on a 2024 or 25 Ducati that he's going to piss all over him? I don't think so either. Do you know what I mean? I think today's race I think was a perfect storm. Low grip circuit on one of Mark's favorite circuits. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we went to Aragon last year though.
We didn't.
So there is another thing. I know. I think everyone.
Yamaha, please turn up the Yamahas for at least once. Throw the dice once. Did you see how bad Quartararo looked on the side of the road, on the side of the track? He looked like, okay, I'm here. I'm going through the motions. Okay, he wasn't even upset when he crashed. He was just like, he does a spin, gets up. Okay, put it in the back of the truck. You know, it was just. He looks dead in the water.
It looked kind of pathetic. But anyway, on that bombshell, we'll end up today's show. Thank you very much again for everyone to join us. Start thinking about Kota next season. We'll definitely have some beers anyway.
Oh, you will. Jesus, I can't drink beer. I get sick. An Irishman's hell.
I'll just drink your Kota.
It used to kid me. I used to have they called it 2 beer sickness. The first one would taste great, and then I had the second one. I would turn green sickness for 2 days. Puking.
Beer sickness. We in Ireland call that 2 drinks in a life jacket because you're fucking dry. Because you're drowned.
The thing was, I would drink this vodka and orange juice. Ends are never for big drinkers, but like vodka and orange juice, I'd be fine.
Vodka.
But then again, I used to just go out to dance and get laid. To be honest with you, that's the drink is just there for an accomplishment. Accompaniment.
Vodka and orange juice.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
That's what fucking women drink. Like, just be a man and fucking man and drink it fucking straight. Like, do you know what I mean? No. You don't drink for, You see, this brings me on to a very, very, and I'll be very quick in this. See, Irish people are very weird, right? In the way that we just go out to get drunk, right? Are you going for a few beers? Like, there's no few beers, right? There's very rare a man goes out to the pub and has 2 beers and fucks off home, right? If he's doing that, we call it he's on the promise of getting laid, right? When he gets home, right? That would be the only way a man will kind of walk out after 2 pints, right? So we go to get drunk, right? End of story. Europeans then go to socialize.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Where they find it acceptable, Joe. So, like, let's say that's your beer glass, right? Like, we want the head of our pint really thin and right to the top, right? But in Europe, the head of the pint could be that much, and you're like, that's a fucking third of a glass that's wasted.
You're like, in America, we don't go for that one. Yeah, we want about an inch.
But like, they go out to socialize and have fun and whatever, and then end up somewhat drunk. And it's kind of very funny because, like, you'd see an Irish person in the pub, like, and people who drink stout would know this in Ireland. In your first few pints that you have, like, you have a pint of Guinness, you need to split the G in the Guinness sign. So your first slow needs to be a good 2 gulps to get down. Like, you don't be just sipping it. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, a pint, when you go out, your first pint will probably last you like 6 or 7 minutes, and then you'd be like then going 4 or 5 an hour, then for a while, and then you end up like I've ended up a few mornings, huh?
That's like the joke that 2 Irishmen go out and they go on the boat and the main boat it sinks and they're stuck on the dinghy, and the guy's going, "Okay, Jesus, I want to make a prayer to you." And all of a sudden he goes, "Okay, make a prayer." He goes, he can't hear what he's saying. He opens his eyes and he goes, "The ocean's made of Guinness." The guy goes, "What did you do that for?" He goes, "Well, now why?" He goes, "Well, now we got to piss in the boat."
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Anyway, on that bombshell, we will wrap it up there for this week, and we will see you again after the Misano race next week.